What will Season 5 bring for Kenny in Cobra Kai? It is your main man, Maniac, and let's hop into it. So for those of you who don't remember Kenny or don't know who Kenny is, he was introduced to us in Cobra Kai Season 4 as a new kid to school in West Valley, and he was getting a hard time. His mom was away all the time, his dad was away in the military, and we later found out that Sean Payne was his older brother, so he was the man of the house because it was just him and his mom at home. He then started school at West Valley and was bullied by children, including Daniel's son, Anthony LaRusso. He then loved playing this game. I can't remember what it was called, but he loved this guy called Dr. Scribblebottoms, and he played this game, whatever it was, Dungeon Lord or something, all the time. And he was then being cyberbullied by Anthony and his friends, or so-called friends, and they kind of were just pretending to be Leah, who's that girl that Kenny likes, who Anthony also likes, and because he showed them up at basketball, they cyberbullied him and humiliated him, making him dress up as Dr. Scribblebottoms in a cosplay in the park, and then posting it everywhere, and just played a series of pranks on him. So due to him getting such a hard time, Kenny decided to join Cobra Kai after telling Sean, his brother, about it in juvie, who then said, I know a guy who knows karate as well, not just the guy Anthony who apparently knew karate, and he can sort you out, he can help you. Kenny then went to Cobra Kai, but was afraid of being hit and afraid of being in an actual fight, so he fled and ran away, and Kreese just said, get out of here, we don't have time for time wasters in the tournament. Robbie then returned his bag as Kenny left his backpack in the dojo and decided to show him a few moves out the back, allowing Kenny to get another chance, score a point against Kyler, even though it didn't officially count, but that earned him a spot in Cobra Kai. He then learned karate, became a better fighter, used his running away from a fight to running at his opponents, and ended up becoming a formidable fighter in the sport of karate, being able to make it all the way to the quarterfinals at the young age of 14 in the All Valley tournament, which was quite an achievement. And that's kind of where we're left at with Kenny. And at the end of season 4, Anthony tries to give him an apology and tries to say, I'm sorry, can we start again? And he says, I know you are, a pusso, and that I hope you're ready for high school next year because you're going to be in a world of pain. And it's now he has become the bully when he was before bullied. So the main question that hangs over Kenny for season 5 is, will he stay in Cobra Kai now that Robbie is most likely going to leave, now that he's patched things up with Johnny? However, despite being one of the biggest, if not the biggest role model in Kenny's life right now, there's also Silver, who plays a huge part in Kenny's life and his karate development. As you see in the tournament when Kenny wins, Silver gives him a high five, and you can tell he was a lot closer to Silver than Kreese. Now that Kreese is out of the picture, if Silver gives Kenny just a bit more attention, that might be enough to let him stay and make him stay in Cobra Kai. Whether or not Kenny stays in Cobra Kai could have a huge impact on his character development in the future season. This is because if Kenny stays in Cobra Kai and Silver does some more work with him and trains him a lot more, he may become a lot stronger, but he also is at risk of becoming like how Daniel became when he was training under the Quicksilver method in Karate Kid Part 3, resorting to violence as the primary source of problem solving, and also being short-tempered, angry, and believing solely that the only way to win is to strike first and to be the biggest and strongest and baddest bully you possibly can. This could land him in trouble and potentially even land him in juvie, meaning that if Sean doesn't get out of juvie, he may see his own brother in juvie alongside him. And this may mean that kind of the other prisoners might give Sean a hard time because of, like, you're going soft on your younger brother, especially if Kenny has a bit of an attitude. Being the younger person, they might try and put him in his place, the other prisoners, and Sean would kind of tell them to lay off him just because he's his younger brother. Then there's also the question of what happens if Sean gets out of juvie during Cobra Kai Season 5, since he'll then most likely move back into the same house that he lives in with Kenny and his mother, who we never see, and he will probably be proud of his brother for stepping up, for becoming the man of the house, for defending himself and not being such a wimp and a coward. And this may mean that he goes to check out Cobra Kai to see what it's really like. Sean may not like what he sees because he's like, there's this rich guy who uses money and his influence and all of that, and that he doesn't want Sean to be associated with that and all these children. However, it seems like Kenny lives in kind of a suburban area and that his family isn't particularly poor, especially since his father is a military captain, and that's pretty well paid when you're a high rank in the military. Then I don't really see Sean having an issue with Silver being rich and having money, but I do potentially see that if Robbie's been in touch with him, he may try and get Kenny to leave and say that this isn't a good place, and Robbie may even explain that Kenny has a risk of going to juvie just like they did if he stays in Cobra Kai, which would be enough because Sean didn't really want to go to juvie. He did it to protect his brother, and he'll try and do the right thing as a bigger brother and say, you've got to leave Cobra Kai because you could go to juvie. Kenny, however, may form a rebellious streak and say, no, I don't need you anymore, I didn't need you, you weren't there for me, and Silver's always been there for me, And especially if Silver gives him enough perks and enough fancy clothes and gear, enough praise, enough special attention and treatment, Kenny may decide that he's going to be loyal to Cobra Kai and to Silver and be one of the students that doesn't leave and that doesn't defect after characters like Robbie and potentially Tori are no longer part of the dojo. This then may mean that Kenny becomes one of the main fighters in the dojo, like how Hawk and Miguel were, and like how Robbie was in Season 4, eventually being the future All-Valley champion and a Johnny Lawrence type character to be in the dojo. If Kenny leaves Cobra Kai and manages to go through kind of a semi-redemption arc, but I don't think his character's really gone completely dark yet, but go down a semi-redemption path, apologises to Anthony, he may end up joining the Miyagi-Do, but I don't see this necessarily happening. I see Kenny probably staying in Cobra Kai in Season 5, and I'll do a video of what if Kenny leaves Cobra Kai in Season 5. If you guys want to see that, just comment below that you want that, and I'll give you that video. But I don't think all in all that's going to be the main story anyway. Kenny's not going to feature hugely in Season 5, and the main focus will be on Miguel, Robbie, Tori, characters like that. For the most part, it seems like Kenny is happy to be a part of Cobra Kai in the Season 5 trailer, and when he's giving out flyers and information to try and recruit new students to the dojo, and he doesn't seem like he's ever in a position where he might leave Cobra Kai. I see that maybe happening at the end of the season, and they've not yet shown it to us in the trailer. Maybe he sees Silver acting a certain way, and that puts him off being in Cobra Kai, but for the most part, he probably will go down a dark Cobra Kai path where he becomes strong, powerful, but also aggressive, kind of like how Hawk went through when he went from Eli to Hawk, flipping the script throughout Season 1 and 2, and some of Season 3, well, most of it, nearly all of it. And that's what I see happen to Kenny. He becomes a lot stronger, a lot more skilled as a fighter, but he also becomes a lot more aggressive and just not a very good person overall, because the Cobra Kai anger and the Cobra Kai frustration that you get from being in Cobra Kai and buying into all of their morals, it turns you like that. And that's basically it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to drop us a like down below. Comment below if you want me to make a video about what if Kenny leaves Cobra Kai, and let me know what other videos you want me to make. I hope you guys are having a great day, living your best possible life, and are staying safe out there. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
How many drinks is you planning on taking tonight? Cause girl, you've been wild.
Must have been a long
Plus, they
day.
don't make them like you anymore. Cause when you get drunk, you get violent. And by violent, I mean you suck it up and then you ride it. You disrespectful with it, but you hide it. You rather get nasty with me and